Hello friends, welcome to my channel Creating Essence. I am Megan. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm stealing a quick minute while this little cutie is getting a nap to show you a little bit of my fall garden. I am doing this video in collaboration with two other sweet gardening ladies, Megan over at Pennies and Salt and Mariah over at the Babcocks. I will list both of them and the links to their channels in the info box below. But we are doing some pretty sweet giveaways in this collaboration, so make sure you check out their videos too. It has been a little while since I showed you guys a garden tour. Number one, that's because baby Giovanna. Number two, it's because, I don't know, it's not what I had planned. Let me show you those seedlings I had started for the fall garden. Yep. That's them. That is what is going on with the fall garden seedlings. They never got planted. Hey Tanner, nice of you to stop in. So you may remember that while I was actually in labor, I had put some seedlings in the ground. Told about that in my birth story video. Well, I will show you what those seedlings are up to. Over here is where the baby Hubbard and Solor squashes went in. Yep, they died. And over here, well, we still have the zinnias and marigolds from the summer going strong, and some basil that's gone to seed. But over here we have the Tahitian melons that I put in, and they are actually doing pretty well. We have some little squashes coming on. Another one right there. Unfortunately, we have had the same issue that I talked about with my butternut squash in my pollination video, which I will link in an iCard as well as in the info box below, about it just being a lot cooler here than normal. And the problem with the early chill is that the pollinators kind of went away early. So things aren't getting pollinated, and I have had to do hand pollination, which is fine. It's really easy. I talked about that in that video, but y'all, time is at a premium these days for me, so I can't always get out and keep an eye on what's blossoming when and get that hand pollination done. So we've had some things not developing, but you know what is doing amazing? My jalapenos. Now this is a seedling that I put in, gosh, the end of May, and it wasn't doing so hot at first, but since about July it has taken off like gangbusters. I have gotten so many jalapenos, and you can see they're still coming on. This plant, which by the way is almost 5 feet tall, don't know if you can tell, it's inside a tomato cage because I put my hot peppers in red tomato cages to warn the kids so they don't come out snacking on them. But this has been producing handfuls of huge jalapenos since about July, and it just keeps going. We are in the middle to end of October now, and it still is just covered top to bottom with tons of jalapenos. I have this bell pepper that went in around the same time, not doing great. The basil I'm slowly pulling out and giving to the chickens to eat because they're done for the year, gone to seed. The Shishito Pepper has produced really well for us. If you haven't tried Shishito peppers, give them a try. They are a sweet pepper with a really thin wall that is really great in stir fries, grilled, lots of different ways. Another bell pepper plant. The bell peppers just did not do well this year. This is the kale and the chard that I planted this spring, first thing. The chard got some harlequin bug damage, so I cut off all the damaged leaves since the harlequin bugs have basically gone to bed for the fall, so that we can get fresh new leaves coming up from the center that are undamaged. They're working on it. It's going to take some time, but it's happening. But the kale kind of slowed down during the hottest part of the summer, and it is coming back now and doing so well. I don't know if you can tell on their stems here. These are where leaves grew up all summer long. All these spots were leaves that I took off, and they just keep getting taller, kind of bending over at this point because they're so heavy. Ew, speaking of the bane of harlequin bugs, smush that. But they're coming back, and I'm getting lots of fresh new kale, and I'm so excited about it. We just had a big kale salad for dinner last night. Those greens I planted back the first week of May. That is one reason that I love those greens. They are so hardy. They lasted, even the teeny tiny seedlings, through some hard frosts, and then they slowed down in production, got some really bad bug damage in the heat of summer. But now those exact same plants, without being reseeded, are growing and producing and really strong again. So that is why things like kale and chard I always get in first thing in the spring. And now on to what I'm calling the accidental garden. These are our raised beds in the front. Right now we have the chickens next to them, scratching up the yard, giving it some fertilizer. But these, you may remember, we prepped for fall planting in the end of July when I was still big and pregnant. Y'all, we didn't get anything planted in them. All of these, butternut squash, these are from chicken compost. Yep. Now these 4 pole bean vines that you see coming up here, we planted these back in May. And it took them a really long time to get going, but they are just going now. The kids really love having this trellis here, and at this point, we're just letting the beans grow out so we can collect seeds from them to plant next year. Now these are actually 2 things I did plant. These are Birdhouse Gourds, because this was my plan for fall seedlings, for fall growth on the trellis, assuming the beans would be gone. Well, this vine and this vine are coming up now, and they're just kind of blending in, growing into the beans, and we're letting them. More butternut squash from the chicken compost. Still have some pepper plants growing from the summer garden, but they're kind of on their way out now. This one as well. And this is melon. Yep, chicken compost magic again. Definitely accidental gardening going on here, because I've done nothing to this or this or this. And we have some pretty nice fruits growing on it. So thanks, chickens. Not sure we have the heat for the watermelon to ripen, but we'll see. This right here, this beautiful sunflower, oh, that my honeybees are taking care of. Hey girls, look at those sweet honeybees. Oh, I love that. I love seeing my honeybees finding great pollen sources. So this sunflower was another volunteer. I saw it coming up and recognized the leaves and let it grow. Now, the few exceptions to the accidental garden are these zucchini and summer squash right here, and those 2 over there. Those were seedlings that I actually did get planted from my seedlings. They are putting on fruit now, so we have zucchini. I know we have a bigger one over here. Yep, there's a zucchini in there. And then we have teeny tiny summer squash, the yellow crooknecks coming up there. We have some over here. Pretty little squash growing. I know zucchini and summer squash are probably not popular things for fall gardens, but around here they actually do best in the fall gardens, because here in Central Virginia, squash bugs will decimate your plants before you can get much fruit. And we did get a fair amount of zucchini and summer squash this summer, but the squash bugs and squash vine borers definitely took them out. And that is not something we have to worry about in the fall garden, and I am so glad. So I'm taking full advantage of that and getting some more zucchini. And that is our fall garden. Now, I mentioned there was going to be a giveaway. I have had a lot of fun saving seeds and of course buying seeds because, you know, I have a really healthy seed stash. And just like the other ladies, I would love to give away some of my seeds to some viewers. It is impossible to use all the seeds that I have purchased and that I have saved. I just don't have the garden space even if I wanted to try. So I would love to share the wealth with some of my viewers. Let me know in order to enter in the comments down below what zone you're in to make sure I don't send you anything that can't grow where you are, as well as the kinds of things you love to grow, so I can make sure I send you seeds that are useful to you all around. Now today is Friday, October 16th, 2020, and I am going to draw this in 1 week. So entrance will close next Thursday evening. I will put the date here on the screen because my brain is not a calendar and I didn't look it up ahead of time. But it will close at midnight next Thursday night so that I can put the video up Friday morning, including who the winner is. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I would love to hear how your fall garden is going. If you've ever had an accidental garden like this, resulting from healthy compost, how did it grow? Let me know. And don't forget to check out Megan and Mariah's videos I have linked down below, not only to see how their gardens are going in different states, but also to enter their giveaways. I hope you all are having a wonderful October. If you like this video, as always, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to hang out for more. We'll see you again soon.